A young boy, Tim, with messy brown hair, walks through a lush green forest, discovering a glowing speckled dragon egg nestled between wildflowers and vines. Tim's expression is curious and amazed. Tim carefully carries the glowing egg in his hands. In his room, the dragon egg sits on a soft blanket. The egg wobbles and cracks. A tiny, shimmering baby dragon with emerald green scales and bright golden eyes emerges, looking around curiously. In the rustic kitchen of their home, Tim stands proudly, holding the baby dragon in his hands near his mother, looks both surprised and intrigued. The baby dragon playfully nibbles on Tim's finger, its wings fluttering. The baby dragon sits on Tim's bed, nibbling on a small piece of bread. Tim points to the dragon with a smile and says, "I'll call you Bambo." Bambo, now slightly larger, flaps his wings enthusiastically in the backyard. Tim claps and cheers as Bambo takes his first clumsy flight. Tim and Bambo play together in the vibrant forest. Tim laughs while running after colorful butterflies. Tim sits on Bambo's back, gripping tightly as the dragon soars above a charming village filled with cobblestone streets and thatched roof houses. The villagers wave from below, their expressions a mix of amazement and joy as Bambo gracefully glides past. Tim points toward the barn visible through the window. The dragon looks sheepish, yet lovable. In the large barn filled with hay and farming tools, Tim sits beside Bambo, feeding him slices of meat. The barn feels cozy with warm, golden light streaming in through the wooden slats, highlighting the dragon's shimmering scales. Two rugged hunters wearing leather gear and carrying crossbows spot Bambo flying over the village. They stand on a hill, pointing at the dragon with greedy determination in their eyes, as the sunrise casts long shadows behind them. The hunters lay a massive net trap on the forest floor, hiding it beneath leaves and branches. Bambo, now fully grown, roars and struggles as the hunter's net traps him. The dragon's wings are pinned, and his golden eyes shine with fear. Tim wakes up and looks around the barn, confused and worried. He sees the open barn door and a faint trail leading into the forest. Tim runs through the dense forest, calling Bambo's name. The morning mist creates an eerie, suspenseful vibe as he hears faint roars in the distance. Tim finds Bambo trapped in the net, thrashing and roaring. Tim's face shows a mix of fear. Tim races back home, grabbing a big knife, prepared to rescue Bambo. Tim worked to cut through the net. Bambo watches him, his golden eyes full of hope. The hunters' angry voices are faintly heard in the distance. The hunters burst onto the scene, pointing their weapons at Tim. Then Bambo snarls, positioning himself protectively in front of his friend. Bambo roars and breathes fire, forcing the hunters to drop their weapons and flee. Tim rides on Bambo's back as the dragon flies gracefully above the forest. Tim smiles, his scarf fluttering in the wind. The villagers gather to cheer for Bambo and Tim. Children run around Bambo, admiring his size and beauty. The scene is filled with joy and warmth. In the barn, Tim hugs Bambo's massive head, whispering, "I'll always protect you." The dragon nuzzles him affectionately. Tim and Bambo sit together on a hill, gazing at the starry night sky. The village glows softly in the distance as they dream of more adventures.